I mean, we got to talk a little bit about the current events.
No, do we have to?
I mean,
I
I
just
don't
want
really
to focus
want
on games.
Yeah, well,
We
Hunter
need
Dekker,
games more than ever. Well, that's interesting news
he
because we
focused
do
on
like
games.
gambling.
Hunter Decker's focused on games. He might have focused on games a little too much. But I did enjoy the fact that he took the under on the Iowa State game. So
at least he's not an idiot.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you got that going now. Well, one of them was it the kicker that I was reading about of Iowa that had their mom placing bets, or was that Dekkers? I get them all confused because I read about an Iowa basketball player too. I mean, great stuff coming out of the cornfields of Iowa, whether you're Iowa State or Iowa. My thing is if they penciled in on these, if they honed in on these two, not penciled in, right? If they honed in on these two, this has to be going everywhere else, right? Because if you're just looking at Iowa State and you're finding all these people,
how many Division I football players are there?
oh,
yeah,
man.
It's happening, outside of Iowa, I'm sure.
But I mean, look, Dekkers wasn't playing in the game, so he wasn't throwing in the game. He was a backup QB at the time. He throw a little action, and the kicker took the under. Now, could he have missed a field goal on purpose? Maybe.
I mean, look, I think both of us are okay with gambling in general, obviously, but I'm fine gambling on your own sport. I'm just not fine gambling on the game that you're playing in. I think that's where you draw the line.
Yeah.
And if they were doing that, it sounds like they were, then there should be some punishment. Now, I don't know what the punishment will be. Is this brand new for the NCAA? I mean, we know in the NFL, we've seen what's happened to a couple players, but are these guys, I mean, is their whole eligibility going to be gone now?
I heard speculation that Dekkers could, which is crazy because this is a guy that could potentially make the NFL. You see Brock Purdy, who started for the 49ers all the way to the playoffs. Dekkers was a pretty big recruit for Iowa State, so you never know where he can.
And we haven't done the Big 12 preview yet, but I really like that over 5.5
Me
for
too.
Iowa State. Now I don't know.
Yeah. I think now things change a little bit there, but the basketball, the guard of Iowa, Aaron Ulis, who's now at Nebraska.
Yeah.
He made 2,000 sports bets on the FanDuel app. Now, this is my favorite part here. He's now at Nebraska. He bet a total of $35,000 under the fake name Anton Porter. Anton Porter, you are welcome to come on the show at any time. All right.
That's a lot of money for a college kid.
That is. And at least one of the bets is believed to be an Iowa game, the team he was on at the time, and that is where you get a little bit sketchy because
you could even take it one step further though, and as long as you're betting on your team, maybe I'm still okay with it.
Yeah.
But if you ever bet against your team, that's where you really cannot do that because then maybe you're throwing the game.
Yeah. Either way, it's something to monitor on our Iowa and Iowa State overs. Stick around for the in the coming weeks, we have the Big 10 and Big 12 preview that will be dropping. So shout out to 3802. He goes, he's got nowhere to hide. Every program hammers the rules to recruits. Unfortunately, he's got to take whatever punishment they dish out. Yeah. And he, I'm curious to see whether the NFL, because I don't think Hunter Dekkers is ready to play in the NFL. He would have to go to the USFL or CFL or something, or the ELF in Europe. Go play with Munich's team, the Munich Ravens, to see if he can develop into a good quarterback. It's just not worth it. I mean, at least the basketball player had $35,000 worth of bets. Hunter Dekkers one was like, what was it? I forget it if it was him or the kicker. It was like fucking $50. It's like, what are you doing?
Maybe they should have played DFS instead. Is there any rules against playing DFS?
Well, in the NFL there is, because that's how what's his name, the Bama wideout Calvin Ridley did, right?
That wasn't DFS. That was just gambling.
Was that?
Right?
I thought it was DFS.
I think it was just normal, straight up gambling.
Huh. Well, either way. I'm sure this is going to happen, and people will say this is the problem with legalized sports gambling. No, it's clearly it's working. Like it's working that we're catching them. Before you would never know. So yeah, Dekkers.
So maybe it's not working.
Yeah. No. Before you would just never know.
This was a good thing. That's a good thing. Let them bet.
No, what do you mean? It's not a good thing.
Well,
Yeah.
as long as you're not betting against your team, I'm okay with that.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
I agree. Oh yeah. We're on board there.
Right.
And Dekkers' average bet size was $7.
Now that's a college kid bet.
$7. Who gives a fuck? He shouldn't be suspended at all.
Right.
I mean, come on. Come on. What was his biggest bet? $35? Absolutely hilarious.